What is up, people? What's happening? What's happening?
How we feeling, yo? How we feeling?
How is
Yeah.
everybody darn?
Top of the morning or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I don't know if you know, but we're in Australia.
Not me.
No,
I'm in
yeah, I
LA.
mean, he's in LA. Um, I mean, I'm in Australia currently. Zach is in LA.
Yeah.
However way you want to take it. Um, I'm just setting up here.
Sorry, guys. 1 second.
All I know is Vita Vea is officially inactive, and James Cook is gonna have a day. That's what I know. Huh? Something special is going to happen here tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you, as always. Drop a question. Super Chat's going to get answered straight away. We'll be live here up until kickoff. And if you have any questions regarding your lineups and we don't get to you, once again, Super Chats get answered straight away. We'll get to those immediately. And I'll start from the top here as Zach is doing whatever he's doing. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Definitely hit the like button. I'm good to go.
He's good to go.
But by the way, Brock Purdy has been practicing.
Be careful.
I felt like you couldn't practice if you were in concussion protocol. Am I misremembering that? Because Rashawn Johnson wasn't practicing. Was he?
I just think that he needs to clear. You need to clear those steps, and you technically can. Like you can go through two protocol. I think what it is like, I think there's 4 phases. You can go through 2 of the phases. You have to pass the 2 phases. On the 3rd phase, you can practice in a limited fashion. And then you can, if you pass that 3rd protocol, the 4th step is practicing in full and then them reevaluating you. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just talking shit out my ass.
Could be, dude.
But I honestly don't know. But
Anyway,
practicing.
What is up, people? Welcome in. Welcome in. Hopefully you are ready for some football tonight. It's going to be a good game, hopefully. Actually, I mean, I'm facing a lot of Bills and Bucks tonight, so I mean, I'm okay for a snoozer because I don't have many Bills or Bucks. So yeah, I'm fine for a snoozer of a game.
Got a lot of Bills.
Fantasy purposes.
Good, baby.
But do us a favor, guys. As you join the stream, go ahead and drop a like. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining us. We're going to answer questions from top to bottom all the way up until kickoff. The only time that we'll go out of order is if there's a super chat. And the first question is from MH here. It says, need to start 2 full PPR. DJ Moore, Drake London, Christian Watson, Addison, Aaron Jones, T. Higgins, or Darrell Henderson. Full PPR, start 2 here, Badaki. My instant reaction is DJ Moore and Addison. What about you?
Yeah, those are the 2 I was thinking as well. T. Higgins, I think right now is very close to being. I think they're just all in that group. They're all in that tier of like. I think Addison is the highest tier, in my personal opinion. Then it's DJ Moore and T. Higgins. Who do you trust more? Who do you want to start more? DJ Moore has a better start. Matchup against the Chargers. Higgins going against the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken. So I am going to go DJ Moore and Addison, but it's very close with T. Higgins as well.
Yes, the next question is from Eric. Full PPR. I have a surplus of wide receivers. Lamb, Evans, Higgins, Myers. Which 2 would you most likely trade away? Let's just start from the very beginning of the stream, Badaki. Let's all get on the same page. Everybody who's watching the stream.
Here we go.
This question we can answer, but just so we're all on the same page, because I'm going to say it now, and then when we see the questions down the board, so you guys know what we're talking about. If there are any questions that are like, hey, what do I do with my team? Review my team. What trades do who do I trade this player for? Well, we don't answer those questions on the stream. Reason being is because we want to answer as many people's questions as we possibly can. And in order for us to actually break down someone's team, that's going to take a long time for us to give you a good answer. And that's just not something that we can do at this moment. So just so we're on the same page, I said it here. Love y'all. But as far as his question here,
I think there's only one person I personally actually, there's 2. I'll be happy to trade away. Actually, 3. I would be interested in selling to see who I can pivot off of. That is Mike Evans, Michael Pittman, and Drake London. Everyone else I'm really happy to keep.
Okay.
But those are the 3 that I'll just be inquiring to see what I can get. But the 2, if I had to pick 2, would be Michael Pittman and Drizzy Drake because of
Yeah.
the consistency with Mike Evans.
Eric says, which offer seems better, Drake London for Mixon or London and Ridley for Mixon, Ford, and Judy? I'd rather do London for Mixon. What about
Drake
you?
London or Drake London, Calvin. Yeah, I would do London for Mixon as well.
Sergio, what is up, my man? He says, hey, gentlemen, help with the flex spot, please. Garrett Wilson, Higgins, Deontay Johnson, or Amari Cooper. This is a really tough one because Amari Cooper, I think, he on the surface is the better play, but I am concerned with bad quarterback play. I am more interested in starting Garrett Wilson here than any of the other names, purely because of the amount of targets I know he will see in that offense. He's getting hyper targeted, and I want that for my wide receiver.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I would do as well. Deontay Johnson didn't practice today with a hamstring, which does not seem very good for him in the long term. So hopefully that helps you. Akshay.
By the way, he said if if Mostert's out, do you start Jeff Wilson? I think you can, but I think it's clear that he is, at least in my opinion, I think it's clear that he is not, I think Salvon Ahmed could be just as good of a start if Mostert misses, It just doesn't seem like they're going to use Jeff the way they did last year, but I could be wrong. But yeah, he's a fine start if that's your best option. Okay. Akshay says, would you be starting Devonta Smith this week over Zay Flowers and Josh Downs? I would be starting Devonta Smith over Josh Downs. Very close. But yeah, I think this is a get-right game for Devonta Smith. I'm talking about him in an upcoming video. But essentially, I'm reaching my hand out one more time, saying, hey, brother, let me pull you up from your bootstraps, okay? I know what you can do. Get back on track. So, yeah, one last chance or we're putting him in timeout.
Yeah, agreed.
Next one says, trade away DJ Moore, Kincaid for Ingram and Olave. I like the Ingram and Olave side. What about you?
I think it's a fairly even trade. I think DJ Moore and Olave, in my opinion, are even. Kincaid, I think, is going to see a big uptick in production here now that Dawson Knox went on IR. So I find it a fairly even trade.
Okay. Devin Singletary, Rashawn Johnson.
This week to start?
Yeah.
I think we said this earlier as well. I think the best way for us to answer that is next week, unfortunately. If I had to choose one to pick to play, I'm probably going to be going Rashawn. I do believe he does get workload playing against the Chargers. You expect him to be down. You expect him to get a lot of pass catching opportunities as well. Excuse me. That's where I'll be going. But Devin could easily be a close second there against the Panthers, who do give up a lot of points to the running back position. So
it would be Devin to me. I believe Rashawn Johnson's going to be heavily involved, but I also believe the same for Devin Singletary, and actually prefer his matchup versus the Panthers. I think that's a better matchup, so it's close though. But yeah, you're really kind of flipping a coin there. The Pigeon Man says half PPR. Start two in my flex. Rashad, Watson, Henderson, or Higgins. Rashad, Watson, Henderson, or Higgins. That is a very difficult one. Where do you stand? Do you have an instant reaction to this one?
Yeah, I'm going the wide receivers. I know it's half PPR still, but I'm going Christian Watson and T. Higgins. I think both of those guys have higher upside than Henderson and Higgins. Watson is still practicing, if I'm not mistaken, in full this week or today.
You're going Watson and Higgins, you said?
Yeah, Watson and Higgins, exactly.
I just you said higher upside than Watson than Higgins, so I was confused.
I said then Henderson and White.
Sorry. Oh, okay.
So yeah, he's practicing as well, Christian Watson.
Yeah, he seems to be okay, which is good news. It is a fine matchup versus the Vikings. Man, Rachaad White and Higgins is kind of where I'm leaning here.
Okay.
And with Rachaad White, that's purely based off of volume. Oddly enough, the Bills are a top 10 matchup for running backs. And I think they'll need Rachaad White as a check down in this game. I anticipate the Bills being able to score and Rachaad White being necessary for them to kind of extend drives. You're kind of, I imagine them emulating the run game, if you will, through the air. So it would be Rachaad White and Higgins for me, but it's close.
Okay.
Akshay says start one running back, one wide receiver, and one flex. Well, you cannot sit Thielen, so we're starting Adam Thielen at the wide receiver
Correct.
spot. At running back, we're starting Bijan, and then I'm gonna flex Jahmyr Gibbs. Ooh, is that DJ Moore though? Oof. I love his matchup this week. I can't lie to you, but
It looks.
it would be Thielen, Gibbs, and Bijan for me, assuming Monty doesn't play though.
Yeah, I think Monty is trending in the direction where he doesn't play.
Yeah.
He didn't practice again today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Which kind of really solidifies that he probably won't play, even though he does have that extra day. I'm going to go with you there. I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs, but very, very close with DJ Moore as
By the
well.
way, Badaki, we currently have over 70 people watching. Can you guys do us a massive favor? Go ahead and smash that like button. Help us get to 50 likes. We are currently, let me do some quick maths here. We are currently 22 likes away from 50. So there's enough people here to kind of help us reach that half century mark. Smash that like button for us. We are answering your questions, trying to do our best to help you set your lineups. Keep in mind, we don't do really team reviews or anything like that. We will answer your questions from top to bottom, and super chats will get answered straight away. But now we're 15 likes away from 50, so we're very, very close. We're getting there. Ethan is the next one here, but he says, PPR, choose one, Rashawn Johnson, Pierre Strong, or Cam Akers. That is a very difficult decision.
How's Kareem Hunt?
I know you're an Akers guy. Where do you stand with that? Because if you had just watched the first half of that Vikings game, it's like, damn, okay, so Madison's still the guy. If you watched the second half, you would have been like, is Madison on the team anymore?
Yeah, and I mean, even then, like, he still didn't get the crazy opportunity. It felt like it.
Yeah.
But only played 39% of the snaps versus Madison 53, excuse me. Does he get the 50-50 workload this week? I'm personally going Pierre Strong in this matchup. I think Pierre plays a big role here. And I do believe he gets that 50-50 opportunity. He's going to play the Jerome Ford role with confidence. I think they're pretty confident in this run game against Seattle. So that's where I'll be going.
So I hear what you're saying there. I think and you would probably agree with me, I think he's the worst real NFL player of these three.
I would go.
And
I would agree.
That's a little concerning for me, but I definitely understand where you're coming from. Like, he could be really valuable in PPR. I'm struggling between Rashawn and Akers here. I would actually make the case that based off what we saw in the second half of last week's game, this is his highest snap percentage. It's his most touches in a game for the Vikings. I would make an argument that Cam Akers is actually the highest upside play of these
best
three.
matchup as well.
It's a great matchup. So I think the answer for me is actually going to be Cam Akers. Now, if you need a little more safety, I think Rashawn Johnson is actually the safer play. But I think Cam Akers it will end up the better play. So, yeah, I'm going to go Cam there. To me, that looks a little bit like a trend rather than an outlier, unless there's some injury we didn't hear about with Madison. But I've been looking. I haven't seen anything.
No, we haven't seen anything. I think he was dealing with that injury. I don't know. I don't know if you remember. Or like, he goes down, he had like a neck injury. He was on the floor for a little bit. He comes out, and that's when we saw Cam Akers get a lot of opportunity. But it looks like he's fine this week, so we'll see what happens.
Do have some super chats, so let's get to those straight away. Let's prioritize those people who are donating. Thank you so much for your donations, guys. ER is the first one of the day. He says, PPR, Rachaad White, James Cook, or both, and sit Deontay instead.
Oh, boy. I'm 100% starting James Cook. Now, my question for you, ER, is do you have anyone else outside of Deontay Johnson? Because I personally don't want to start Rachaad White. I know he has a good matchup. Volume is going to be there, but maybe you have somebody else. Maybe you have a wide receiver. Or I don't know. Maybe you have a different, I don't know, a Nico or a tight end or a Stevenson. I don't know, somebody along those lines. I'm really interested to know. If you don't, then I think you probably do have to start Rachaad White without the confidence that you're not going to have with Deontay Johnson. Because him getting injured today, with that same hamstring injury, makes me feel like he's not going to play.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I'm on the side that Deontay does play, but the fact that he is limited now in the week instead of yesterday with the hamstring, is a sign that that may have been a tweak. And I don't think you can risk it to see if Deontay plays. The good thing about Rachaad White is that he is still dominating volume. He is a boom bust play. You know, he's had really good games, and then he's had games that have been disappointing. But typically the games that are good, he's involved in the air. And I think we could see that again. You know, he played the Atlanta Falcons last week. That's a very tough matchup for fantasy running backs, but he was involved in the air, and they needed him to be. So I'm kind of envisioning a 10 to 13 point game for Rachaad tonight. And if he finds the end zone, then we've seen, you know, he's only done that once this year, but it was over a 20-point game. So it would be the two running backs for me, just because I don't think you can afford to wait.
Yeah, I would agree there. He says he has Aaron Jones, Tank Dell, and already starting Nico. I would be starting Aaron Jones over Rachaad White personally. But hopefully that helps. I think Zach would also say the same thing, but I'm not sure.
You know,
Aaron Jones over Rachaad White.
It's difficult to have much trust in Aaron Jones just yet, and I do believe that he can have a bounce back game. He can go off, but this injury is just lingering, and it's really frustrating. I have Rachaad White one spot ahead of Aaron Jones, one spot, and that's only because, like, if you trade places, it's no question Aaron Jones gets all that work, no injury, you know. But that's not. It's just it's a tough one. So hopefully that's helpful. Thank you for the donation. The next one is a $20 donation.
$20.
Thank you for the $20 dono. That's crazy. Thank you for the donation, gentlemen. Grade the trade. I gave up Barkley and C.J. Stroud. I thought I was trying to say that like a Yinzer. C.J. Stroud. I can't say that well. I'm not a Yinzer.
Same.
I gave up Barkley and C.J. Stroud in return for Cousins and Nico. My backs are Etienne and Spears. I have to be 100% honest. I really am not in love with this deal, Badaki. If I'm giving my 100% honest answer, I do not think you should have gotten rid of Barkley, knowing that now your running backs are Etienne, Spears, Henderson, and Charbonnet.
I feel like he put Spears in caps in the true belief that that Derrick Henry is not going to be there, and that is a huge risk.
That changes things for sure.
It is going to change things. I don't think even if Derrick Henry walks or gets traded, I don't think we can say right now with confidence that we're still happy that he gave up Saquon Barkley.
That's true. Even if Henry's traded, we don't love that deal, do we?
No, not at all. I think it helps you in your running back room with the expectation of him getting more workload. But, you know, Henderson, you think could maybe play the 50-50 role when Kyron comes back. Bigsby hasn't done anything. Charbonnet hasn't done anything. Could see some workload this week, actually, with Kenneth Walker popping up there. Don't love this trade, brother. But I don't know. I mean, even C.J. Stroud, I'd rather have C.J. Stroud over Kirk Cousins for me personally right now, the way he's playing. And it looks like you could have had the stack with Stroud and Nico.
I think I do prefer Cousins over Stroud the rest of the year, but what I will say is it's not a very big difference. And Barkley, in my mind, is far more valuable than a Nico Collins. If I'm trading a Saquon Barkley, especially with how, you know, now Spears is someone you're relying on. You don't have that depth, in my opinion. But I think this trade devalues Saquon Barkley. Like, if I'm trading to Barkley, I need an Adams, a Lamb, you know, a Cup. I don't care if that's too much to ask. If it's too much to ask, I'm not trading Barkley away. So to me, I hate to say it, but I think you paid too much, man. We want to give you as, you know, the goal is not to blow steam up anyone's butt, right? The goal is to be as honest as we possibly can. And hopefully you guys appreciate the transparency. It doesn't mean we're right. It's just our opinion. And then he also donated down here, so let's get to that straight away. He says, do I trade Nico and Henderson for Eckler? So this is fine. I would rather have Eckler than those two names. But again, you're kind of, like, the way I'm viewing this is you're kind of just getting rid of Henderson after you finished all these moves. You know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, you moved off of Saquon. Now you're getting Eckler, but you're just getting rid of Henderson, which was a startable option. So
yeah, I agree.
I would rather have Eckler than those two names. And it's not because we disrespect Nico. It's because of how valuable those star running backs are.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps, Cap for Life. We appreciate you. Our next super chat here from Jesse said, thoughts on Will Levis. Love the channel. Keep it up, boys. We appreciate you, Jesse. Thank you so much for the support. Will Levis, I'll let you start. Unless you want me
Why?
to go, I'm happy.
I mean,
I'm
I
happy
can
to
start.
go.
I didn't know if there was like a specific reason
Oh
why
no,
me.
there's no specific
Okay.
reason. I'll say I'll let you start. I'm happy to
Well,
start.
no, because like
Whichever.
typically if there's like a question about a player you love, I'll be like, "What do you think, Padaki? Let's let you start." And
Sure. So I mean,
as I was known on the Dynasty channel, I was called the Will Levis hater all offseason because I just didn't understand how people had him in the first round of Dynasty drafts. I don't really know that there's any reason, like whatever you felt about Will Levis the day he was drafted in the second round, I don't know that there's any reason for you to feel better or worse since then. Yeah, we've heard some camp reports. There's been some that's good, some that's bad. He hasn't beaten out Malik Willis, and we've all watched Malik Willis. So that's pretty concerning that he hasn't. What I will say is clearly the arm talent has always been there. I think he was a little bit of a product of the system he was a part. But he's almost, weirdly enough, entered like this sneaky buy low range. Like, I imagine in some dynasty leagues you could send a third and maybe a player you don't really care about, and let's just see what happens. Let's roll the dice, you know?
yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have many thoughts outside of this isn't going to be a fun game to watch. Like, I'm more concerned about the people who bought tickets to go and watch the Falcons and Titans play. Could you imagine a worse scenario than watching Desmond Ridder and a combination of Malik Willis and Will Levis throw the football? I mean, that just people are
be
paying.
The highest scoring game.
People are
This is
paying
gonna be the
to do that.
Game of the week. Their favorite team. Look, I understand. Will Levis. I've always had love for Will. He had the talent. He has the opportunity to run. He has the ability to throw the ball deep. Incredible arm, in my opinion. I would love to see him on the field. I think that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited to see him be him if he could be this week. And it's a tough matchup going against the Falcons as well. Am I picking him up off waiver wires? No. Am I buying him in Dynasty right now? No, I'm not. I just have to wait and see what it looks like right now. Right? I think there'll be a couple games that he's going to play. And we'll wait and see. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that's insightful. Definitely a game I'm keeping an eye on. But we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. We did just get another super chat. We got a couple super chats. So we're going through the super chat, guys. If you want your questions answered straight away, drop a super chat. And then we'll go back in order once we are done.
We will get to that super chat just quickly. But by the way, we are 1 like away from 50. There's 120 people watching, which is sick to have that many people watching already. I have a feeling we can reach 100 likes. I have a feeling we could do that pretty easily on today's stream. It feels like one of those streams. We're gaining momentum. Can you guys do us a favor? Let's go ahead right now. Let's reach that 100 like goal.
There we go.
All right, let's go ahead, smash that like button, absolutely obliterate it. Let's get all the way up to 100. We're only 40 likes away now. Let's get to it. Let's make this a big stream today. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate the love. Smash the like. But the next question was a super chat from a guy named Zaim. Do you see his question?
He did donate again underneath.
Oh, okay.
And said start flex Hubbard, Curtis Samuel, or McBride. This one for me will be Curtis Samuel.
I am with you there. That makes sense. Thank you for the donation, my man.
Thank you so much.
The next donation is from Jerisko. Half PPR. Chorizo, you like chorizo?
I love me some chorizo. Oh yeah.
Same. It's got to be cooked the right way, but I agree. Trade Eckler for Gibbs and Josh Palmer. I'd rather have Eckler. What about you?
I completely agree. Rather have Eckler.
And I can understand. He says I need help at my flex. I would be more pursuing that through the waiver wire rather than trading away a superstar running back that I feel really good about rest of the year. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And go watch that buy or sell high video or trade for trade away video. I did talk about Jahmyr Gibbs and why he is a sell high for me right now. So keep that in mind. But we appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Our next super chat here is Jacob. He says Superflex Dynasty on the rebuilding team with a lot of young wide receiver talent. Should I take AR-15 and 2 late first for my Josh Allen, likely getting the number 1 pick without Josh
Allen. So I mean, I think there's a situation here where if he keeps Allen, I think maybe he gets out of the contention to get the number 1 pick. I could be wrong. If he's there, you don't have to super chat. Just let us know quickly. Yes, If I keep Allen, I won't get the number 1 pick, because that is interesting. But what I would say is, I think you should. Is it too much to say I think you could get more for Josh Allen?
I mean, what's that? 2 first and AR-15.
AR-15 probably costs 2 firsts on its own, so that's about 4 first-round picks. You know, with those guys like Mahomes and Allen, it's like there's rarely a trade you can send me where I actually accept a deal. So yeah, maybe 4 first-round picks is the asking price, but I need more. I'm not going to send you the best asset in Superflex Dynasty Leagues for 4 first-round picks. That might sound crazy to you, but don't pay the price if you don't want to. So to me, I think you should get more. Whether that's a young piece that isn't playing right now, or a couple second-round picks, or an extra first and you add a third, I don't know. But I think you should be able to get a little bit more, in my personal opinion.
I would just say, like, context is also pretty big here. Are you you're rebuilding, which meaning, are those pieces already off your team? Like, your older pieces maybe have a Josh Allen, or not Josh Allen, maybe you have, like an Adam Thielen, or maybe you have, I don't know, an older wide receiver group or running back group that you still on your team and you're trying to move on from. I think I would be interested in maybe, you know, getting those first with AR, having what essentially, you know, through 2 firsts, having that first round pick. But at the same time, I think getting Josh Allen is a lot more valuable, and then I'd rather build on through the draft. So hopefully that helps. But we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Next one up here in the super chat is Cole Walker, full PPR. I got 3 flex spots: Foreman, Kareem Hunt, James Cook, Josh Palmer, Zay Flowers, Josh Downs. Thanks for the help. Okay, James Cook, 100% is starting for me. That's what I would say. I would also say Zay Flowers is 100% starting for me. And for me, the other person will be Josh Downs. Palmer looks like he's questionable coming into this week. And he didn't practice today. And I think that is very concerning moving forward. So give me Josh Downs, Zay Flowers, and James Cook.
Yeah, I'm fine with that as well. I kind of agree with you there.
Okay. Next super chat, Zane. Running backs, Bijan and Etienne. Thank you so much for the super chat, Zane. Running backs, Bijan.
I do love Zane Malik, but yeah,
Zane. Yeah, Zane, Zan, whichever, however. English is hard. Running backs, Bijan and Etienne. Wide receiver 1, Puka. I need a flex, and a wide receiver 2. Do I start mixing Sutton, London, Dell, or Lockett?
Man,
I need
Lockett,
a flex.
Lockett's been so disappointing. You know, he's just one of those guys you're going to start to bench now, and he'll go off. It'll just happen. But at the moment, he says I need a flex and a wide receiver 2, so we're picking 2 options here.
Yeah. I know what I'll be going.
Okay.
I'm going Mixon, and then for sure, and then the other ones I'm contemplating is London and Lockett. Right now, I'm leaning towards London.
I don't believe Mixon has the upside of Sutton, London, or Lockett. I think he has a safer floor, though,
Sure.
in this matchup versus the Niners. So I imagine Zan maybe wants some upside, and that's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
you want
to
upside
me,
every week.
If the upside is what you're looking for, it's London and Lockett, in my opinion. But very, very close. The next super chat is from Beast. Thank you for the donation, man. Kirk or Deontay Johnson? I'm going Christian Kirk. What about you?
Agreed.
Brian with the next super chat. We appreciate you guys. Keep it up. Start 1. Rashawn Johnson. Roscoe. I love that. I love that you're saying Roscoe. We got made fun of for calling him Roscoe. People are like, you guys are dumb. You don't even know the guy's name. It's like, guys, we call him Roscoe. That's okay. I like that it's spreading. Maybe we have some influence. Probably not.
Change the atmosphere.
Start 1. Rashawn Johnson, Javonte, and Henderson. This would be Javonte Williams for me. What about you?
It'd be Javonte as well for me.
Thank you for the donation. The next one is from Vino. Thank you, Vino. Full PPR, need 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers. Running backs, let's start there. This would be Javonte and Darrell Henderson. Wide receivers for me would be Wilson and Ridley.
Yes, I concur.
Sir. He concurs. I know, guys, if Ridley doesn't do anything this week, we can write him off forever. All right, we can be like, you're not touching my lineup again. But we really do
trigger
believe
trash, kid.
there's better things ahead for him. Tim Brooks, my guys, what's up, man?
That's a strong name.
Related to Garth Brooks here, actually. This is Garth Brooks' son.
Tim Brooks.
Love it. Tim Brooks. Bond. Start 2, DK, Rashee Rice, Josh Downs, and Amari Cooper. Man, very good question. Metcalf has been very disappointing. Where do you stand? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, we got this question a lot with, Rice and Downs and Cooper. Is what do you need? I think that's the biggest thing. We talked about upside. We talked about this game script. Is Rashee Rice really needed in this game script against the Broncos? Doesn't feel like that's going to be the case with Josh Downs. Does feel like he's needed against the Saints. And Amari Cooper also feels like he's needed against the Seahawks. So I'm going to go Josh Downs and Amari Cooper. But I understand if, Tim, you want to go Rashee Rice or DK. It's just, what do you need, upside or safe floor? And I'm going with the upside there with Downs and
I'm just going to play the best players, and that is DK and Amari Cooper for me.
Sure,
but,
and that makes sense.
It is close.
That makes sense.
Sometimes we can overthink it, and then we're like, damn, okay, DK Metcalf is still freaking great at football, and now he's on my bench, Same with Amari. So it's tough, but start your stars. Zayn.
I mean, we're getting a lot of super chats.
We're getting a lot of super chats.
First of all,
awesome.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
And if you guys haven't donated, you don't have to. Just know that we prioritize super chats ahead of you guys, and then we go back to the line.
Yeah, we always prioritize those people who, show some love and donate, but we always try and get to everyone's questions. By the way, update on the like goal. We are 28 likes away from 100. So if you have yet to hit the like button, go ahead and hit that thing for us. Help us get to 100 likes on the stream. We appreciate y'all. But Zane, thank you for the donation. He says, trade Swift and Waller for Bijan and Debo. Who wins? And it's half PPR. Swift and Waller for Bijan and Debo. I would say overall, I prefer Bijan and Debo Samuel. Now, it depends on what the wide receivers look like for both of these teams. Sorry, tight end, rather, is what I meant to say. Because if you're drastically upgrading with Waller, then that could change things.
Helps you. Yeah, and I think that's exactly what I was going to say. Who's your tight end? You got a Jake Ferguson, a Cole Kmet, a Tyler Higbee. Those names along those lines. I definitely want Waller. Yeah. And that can help you in that situation. But thank you so much for the super chat. Enzo, pick 2. Kirk, London, Lockett, Rice, Pittman, Cook. Oh my goodness.
This is tough. Is Cook
I'm 100%
James?
Yeah. Yes.
Is that James Cook? James. Or Brandon?
I mean, who's asking to start Brandon?
Yeah,
I don't think in the 7 weeks someone's asked us to start Brandon
fair
Cooks
enough. That's fair.
Or
That's
Dalvin
fair.
Cook. But I'm going Dalvin. I mean, now I'm going James, excuse me, and I'm going Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk and London are really close in my rankings. I do have Kirk one spot higher than London.
Yeah.
At this moment.
Yeah, it would be James Cook and Kirk for me too. Just reminder, guys, put your Thursday night players out of the flex, okay? So you can deal with any injuries or surprise inactives that come out of nowhere. Make sure you got guys out of your flexes tonight. Cole Ward, what is up, my man? Let's go Thunder. Hey, my guy. That's right, baby. Oklahoma City Thunder. This is a huge year for us. A massive year. We're taking a huge step. That is one hell of a starting 5. We got talent everywhere. Draft picks for days. And this is a 50-plus win team. This is a 51-win team, I think, this year. And we're making the playoffs. And I think we'll win in the first round. Yeah, and that's a huge step for us. Don't be surprised if you start hearing SGA MVP conversations this year.
No way that's happening.
Put that boy on the map.
No way that's happening.
But anyway, appreciate you. Pick 1, PPR, Godwin, Hunt, and Sutton.
Oh, man.
God, that is a difficult question.
I'm starting Godwin in a lot of leagues this week. Or today.
This is a real toss-up. I'm just going to be honest with you. A real toss-up. I would ask myself who has the best chance at scoring a touchdown when that's the case. And to me, that's Kareem Hunt. So
Kareem Hunt.
Yes, I would start Kareem Hunt here. And it's not as if Kareem Hunt has historically been uninvolved in the air like a Gus Edwards. He's been used in the air. So Kareem Hunt for me now. If he is limited, and we hear a report that he's not full go, then that changes to Sutton because you wouldn't have been able to play Godwin yet, you know. But it would be Kareem Hunt for me personally.
Man, that is tough. I was looking at Cortland Sutton there, but
Yeah, Sutton could work. I mean, outside of that one, keep in mind we already saw Sutton play Kansas City, and outside of that one incredible catch, it would have been a very disappointing week.
Yeah, and I would agree. Hasn't had a game under, or had one game under 10 points against the Jets.
Yeah, that's fair.
Every other game has been over 11 points or more. So I'm going to go with the consistency.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton here against Kansas City coming into this week. Hopefully that helps you there, Cole. Joe Castles, Jags, Texans, or Giants defensive streamers.
Let me pull up my defensive streamer rankings.
It won't be the Jags. I'll tell you that. And it would be the Texans and the Giants.
Giants for me here.
Yeah, Texans and the Giants. And I am going to Giants. I am streaming my Giants actually in our home league this week. So that's exactly where I would be going as well.
Thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate you. We got a donation from Joe Santo, but I don't see a question. Do you?
I don't see it. I'm trying to look for it as well. Joe Santo, I mean, if you have a question, put it down below. We don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't want to not answer his question if he donated. Maybe he's in the chat and he can let us know. But the next one's from Cole. If Josh Palmer is out, is Quentin Johnson a must start? He wouldn't be a must start for me. What about
He wouldn't be a must start. He is definitely somebody I am keeping an eye out on if Josh Palmer is out, though.
He would become super fun in like a DFS lineup instead of something that you trust in like a season-long format.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I completely.
Those are all the super chats we can see at the moment. So let's get back in order. Keep in mind, guys, we're answering questions from top to bottom. If you don't see the question, it just might be a little bit up the screen there in the comment section. We're going top to bottom. Super chats will get answered straight away. Go ahead.
Yeah. Joe Santos just put his thing in the chat. Manny, somebody spamming the same question.
If you're going in timeout, buddy.
You're going in timeout because you can't have that right now.
We just cannot look at that. You put your question in there 7 times. We're going in order, guys.
But he said, I don't know if you can see his question. He said, "Oh yeah, trade Moss for Dameon Pierce or another running back, or hold him."
Yeah, as much as I don't want Dameon Pierce, I'd rather have him over Zach Moss the rest of the season.
Yeah, completely agree. So hopefully that helps. Thank you so much for the super chat.
We'll get to the top of this comment section, but keep in mind, guys, we're going from top to bottom. Only people who super chat will get prioritized outside of that order. You don't have to. Keep in mind, you don't have to, but if you do want to answer straight away, super chat is the way. And if you're spamming your question, expect to get put in timeout. Go sit in the corner. Think about what you've done. Just be patient. Be patient. We're trying our best. But we are also 16 likes away from 100. So go ahead, do us a favor, hit that like button. Help us reach that 100 like goal. But the next question in order is from Akshay. Akshay says, will Puka remain a mid to low wide receiver 1? I would view him as a top 12 wide receiver rest of the year. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree as well. I don't see that changing personally.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Ray is the next one here. Says, hey, fellas, half PPR, pick 2 running backs, 1 flex, Joe Mixon, Breece Hall, Raheem Mostert, Jalen Waddle, Jacoby Myers, George Pickens, and Gus Edwards. Mixon, Hall, Mostert. I am going Hall and Mostert there.
Agreed.
And then I'm flexing.
I'm going Jacoby. I think Jacoby has just been more consistent than Waddle.
Yes, I'm going
as
Jacoby
much as I love Waddle, and I think he can have a great game. Jacoby has been having consistent great games.
No, he has. Yeah, they're back to back in my rankings. I wouldn't be surprised if he just absolutely goes off. But yeah,
it's a tough matchup to be fair against, if I'm not mistaken, Detroit. Oh no, that's against the run game. Excuse me. I think Detroit gives up the least amount of points. Was it the least amount of points to the run game? I could be wrong. They did. They give the 3rd least now in the run, but the pass is different. Anyways, Joe Ortiz, who is starting James Cook? Who is starting James Cook with confidence? I am. I have a lot of James Cook, especially with Vita Vea out today as well. He said I got Swift and Mostert on the bench and Etienne as my RB1. I mean, I'm starting Swift and or Mostert over James Cook this week with no question.
And
But
ETN, right?
obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, and Etienne, yeah, Etienne as his RB1. So hopefully that helps. White Ridley or Palmer this week. Pick one. I think we would both go Calvin Ridley. Hopefully that helps. Chad, he says start Kincaid or Dallas Goddard. I'm going Dallas Goddard.
Yeah, same.
Lucas says Waller or Kincaid tonight.
Waller
I'm
for
going
me.
Darren Waller as well.
We did just get a super chat, so let's get to that.
Here we go.
Actually, there's one from Cade here, and I don't see a question.
The question's underneath.
Is it?
I mean,
do you see it?
Question. It's underneath Joe Castle's Falcons or Giants.
Oh, okay, here it is. 10-team PPR. Can I win with this team? Lamar, Brees, Taylor. I mean, it's a very good team, bro. The issue is that most teams in a 10 PPR league just look very, very good.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
What I will say is you have superstars in Tyreek. You got great quarterback play. You got great running backs. The only place I would look at upgrading is your tight end there, my man. But that was dangerously close to a team review. But we don't do those. But we appreciate the donation. Joe Castle says Falcons or Giants defense. This is Falcons for me.
Falcons. 100% the Falcons.
I struggle to think of a scenario in which Malik Willis and Will Levis do not produce one turnover. I struggle to think of a scenario
100%.
where that doesn't
or
happen.
get sacked multiple times.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah, I completely agree.
The next donation is from John. Thank you, man. Very kind. Ridley A-Chain, trade value, and rest of season. Ridley is someone that we are looking to trade for. Badaki actually released a video on this today, so you can go check that out. As far as Achane, I would consider him a top 15 to 12 running back rest of season when he comes back from that injury. So someone in that range, you could feel free to go ahead and explore trades. It's more important, the more important question is you guys know what your teams are, and you know the person in your league who has those players that you want. Reach out to them, say, hey, what would it take to acquire this player? Once you have that answer, you can come let us know, and we can be a little bit more direct in our help with you. Hopefully that makes sense, because you only have, think about it, like 12% of the players in the league. So if we name 10 players, you might not even have a single one of them. Hopefully that makes sense, but we do appreciate you, John.
Thank you so much.
The next question is from Nathan Neely, Outlaw Did It Production.
Oh, production.
Mike Will made it. What is up?
Mike Will.
What's up? Start 2 out of Pollard, Henry, Cook as running backs. Okay, let's start there. Pollard, Henry, and James Cook.
I'm going Pollard and James Cook.
You're going to sit Derrick Henry?
Look, I can understand, and I've been a massive advocate of Derrick Henry, saying that this could be a big week for him, especially with both these quarterbacks. You expect them to run the ball a little bit more. I just feel a lot more confident in James Cook and Tony Pollard coming into this week. But yes, I'm going Pollard and James Cook.
Yeah. It's Pollard and Henry for me, but they are back-to-back in my rankings.
Okay, that's fair.
But, just thinking about touchdown opportunities, and to me, Henry has a better chance there.
Yeah.
And 3 out of Puka, Olave, Collins, Addison, or Rice. This would be Puka, Olave, and Addison for me.
Exactly.
But Collins is also a great start.
Mm-hmm.
Styles is the last super chat I can see for now. Thank you, Styles, for the donation, man. He says, yo, Ferguson, Taysom Hill, or McBride this week and rest of season. I am... Jeez. Good Lord.
I don't know.
There is not a more difficult position to predict than the tight end position. Truly. There's not a more difficult position. And these are all players who will boom and bust the rest of the year. I don't think you will find consistency. What I will say is, if any of these players are consistent, I'm putting my money on that being Trey McBride. Zach Ertz going on IR. We already saw before Ertz going on IR a shift where they started to use McBride more and more and more. And now we're getting Kyler Murray back at some point. We know what he did with a healthy Ertz. So I would choose McBride rest of season. But if you're asking me this week, probably Taysom Hill for the lulls, for the upside. for
Yeah.
him stealing a touchdown from Alvin Kamara, but yeah.
I think this week I'm going Jake Ferguson against the Rams coming off a bye week. But I can understand, all these guys are boom or bust. Really, the more consistent one lately has been Taysom Hill. And yeah, rest of the season I will go McBride as well, especially with Kyler Murray potentially coming back. So hopefully that helps, Styles. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We did get another super chat from Mev.
Yes, Mev.
He said running backs are flex. Running back and flex. Hunt, Madison, DeMarcado, Judy, Dell, JMO.
Hunt and
let me just double check this.
Hunt and Dell, I think, for me. I do need to double check that because it might be Hunt and Judy.
Yeah, for me
Hunt
now.
and Dell for me.
It's Hunt and Dell, exactly. For me as well.
Yes. All right, thank you for the donations, guys. We do appreciate y'all. Very, very kind. Update on the 100 like goal. We are 8 likes away. So if you have yet to hit that like button, you can help us reach that goal today by just clicking that button and helping the channel grow. But the next question from top to bottom here, that's not a super chat, is from Austin Johnson, which just sounds like a WWE wrestler to me. Would you trade Etienne and Collins for Brees and CD? Yeah, I would take the Brees and CD side.
Oh, Brees and CD. Yep, agreed.
Okay. Beast says, got offered Diggs and Cook for Eckler and Devonta Smith. Should I accept?
Wow.
I would rather have Diggs here.
Yeah, I think Diggs is a more consistent play for sure. But if Eckler and Devonta Smith are doing their thing, I would want them too, But I agree. I'm going Diggs and Cook here. Both of those guys have been more consistent than Eckler and Devonta right now, so I think that's where I'm going.
What's up, Chase? Welcome in. Ethan says, just reposting in case it gets cut out. Full PPR, choose one out of Rashawn, Pierre, and Cam Akers. We did talk about this, Ethan, already. I said Akers. You said Pierre.
Yeah.
Joe says, so start Cook over Swift and Mostert. No, we would start those other two running backs, right?
Exactly. We would start those other two running backs.
WG, what is up? Almost time to summon Haas into a return. Where has Haas been?
Oh my goodness.
The infamous Haas stream.
It's been on the Dynasty.
Was that the Dynasty stream?
I thought it was Dynasty.
It could have been the Dynasty channel.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from Mark Dark. Thank you for the donation. PPR Superflex, sit 2. So we just got to sit 2 of these names. Foreman, Hunt, Henderson, Sanders, Michael Thomas, Judy, Minshew. So you're definitely not sitting Minshew.
Yeah, that's what I say. You're definitely not sitting Minshew unless who's the other quarterback, other two quarterbacks.
To me, I feel like the answer is Sanders, oddly enough. Just because I know it's a good matchup, but that is a true split back there. Sorry.
You said need 2 running backs, though. So.
Need 2 running backs, though. Okay.
So, okay, he needs 2 running backs, and then.
Well, for me, the players that I would sit would be Sanders and probably Henderson versus Foreman, rather, excuse me. Sanders and Foreman, because we got Rashawn Johnson coming back. So that still gives you Hunt and Henderson to start, as well as the wide receivers and Minshew. That's how I would play.
Yeah. I'll second that as well. My thought process there is I'm starting to think differently about Foreman this week. I think Roscoe is going to take opportunity, but unless they're down really bad, I think that's where I see Roscoe being a huge impact for this team and in fantasy. That's what's going through my head lately. Because I have Roscoe on my team as well, thinking should I start him or not start him? Anyways, hopefully that helps. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat.
The next question in order at the top to bottom is from Dustin. Olave or Evans, half PPR. I hate questions that are it'll be a gotcha moment in the stream. If we tell him to start Olave and then Evans goes off, it's oh, gotcha. If we tell him to start Evans and then Evans is shit, people will be like, oh, that aged like milk.
Gotcha, bitch.
There'll be no in between. I hate those ones before a Thursday night game. all I can tell you is I much prefer the matchup for Chris Olave. What's concerning for me is if there's any sort of limitations after, his arrest and release, which I don't think there will be. I think he'll be out there, and I think he'll be his same role. But because of the unknowns, I'd be willing to start Evans.
Yeah, I'm going Mike Evans. I think even with the arrest, I think Mike Evans, thinking about it, more consistency now, versus Chris Olave, and he's more vital to this offense. Not that Chris Olave isn't. Just, I think Mike Evans plays a huge part, and Baker looks for him. Hopefully that helps.
Tom Henry says, Standard League, do I start Rashawn or Godwin in the flex? Godwin for me. What about you?
Yeah, I'll start Godwin as well.
Dub Nation, what is up? Which tight end do I start? Taysom Hill or Logan Thomas? That is a very, very close call for me. It would be Logan.
Yeah, it'd be Logan for me as well.
Logang.
Logang. Had 7 points last time they played against Philly, so hopefully he can get that as well.
Pump and Dump says, hey guys, love your show. Should I start CJ Stroud or Kirk Cousins this week? Yeah, great question. Kirk Cousins is at Green Bay, Stroud at Carolina. It would be Stroud for me, but it is close.
It's Stroud for me as well.
Okay. Lucy is the next question here. It says, start 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs at flex. So let's start with the wide receivers. You start Puka, you start Myers, you start Ayuk. I don't think there's any questions there. At running back, you got Josh Jacobs, so you absolutely start him. And then I guess the options are Deonta Foreman and Aaron Jones. And if that's Aaron Jones, I'll start Aaron Jones.
Agreed.
And then at the flex spot, I would start Lockett.
Lockett or Foreman. Yep. And it'll be Lockett for me as well. That was easy. Thank you so much, Lucy. WG. Home League. Baker, Hal, Jimmy G, or hope for Kyler Sunday. I'll be playing Hal. And if Kyler does play on Sunday, you start Kyler.
Yeah.
That works.
I don't know if he does though. I would say overall I don't anticipate him playing, but I definitely.
I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
I just need to make sure that I don't have any Rashad White in leagues that I haven't looked at just yet.
No worries.
I know there's one league, and I just need to make sure that I have either decided to play him or looked at my other options. Go ahead.
Yeah, guys. By the way, we will be live. I would say for the next 8 minutes. 8 to 10 minutes here. We're gonna log off here right before kickoff. So if you have any last minute questions specifically for this game, drop a super chat. If not, we are going to be going in order, and it's okay. We will be live Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, answering all of your Start Sit questions. So keep that in mind as well.
Catch 'em all. Saul says, should I trade Waddle with the Tyreek injury concern? I think if there actually is injury concern, you'd want to keep Waddle, but overall, no. I still want those wide receivers on that offense. Bradley just donated, so let's get to that straight away. He says, found Jahmyr Gibbs and waiver wire and ESPN. That's crazy. Yeah, I feel like ESPN and Yahoo and those kind of formats, they're typically the ones where it's like, hey, this person's on the waiver, and we're like, there's no way. You have to be lying that person's on the waiver wire. But that's a huge W. Well done. Devonta Smith or Pittman? I'm going Devonta Smith.
Yep, Devonta Smith as well.
Axis says start one at flex. Deontay Johnson, Watson, Gabe Davis. This would be Watson for me.
Yeah, I would say if Deontay Johnson does play, I'm starting Deontay, but it's Watson right now with the question marks.
Yes. What is up, Donald? Good evening. Akshay says, would you give away Puka Nacua for Garrett Wilson and Brandon Ayuk? Only in like a deeper league. Only a league like where 14? I have like 3 flex spots, Yeah,
that makes sense.
So yeah.
I think I'm gonna keep Puka though, but yes, I understand what you mean by that as well.
Frank the Tank says need 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and a flex. Bijan, Gibbs, Hunt. You definitely start Bijan and Gibbs. At wide receiver, I would start Addison, and then at flex I would start Devonta Smith.
Devonta Smith, yeah. Perfect.
Ralph says, are we really going with the Bills defense instead of Dolphins? I'm on the fence. Bills have let me down. For me, it would be the Bills, but it's close, and we have to be honest. Defense is unpredictable, so have to be honest.
I completely agree. Deontay Johnson or Amari Cooper Amari Cooper. Burrow or Stroud. I'm going Burrow. Not sure where you would go there.
They're back to back in my rankings.
Okay.
But the more I've thought about it this week, I think Burrow is going to have a better game than Stroud in order for them to win that game. So.
Yeah, I understand. And then Rice Downs or Osborne would be Downs for me.
You said Rice, Downs, or Osborne. I believe this would be Rice for me, but it's close. Yeah, they're back to back in my rankings, but it would be Rice. Mr. Green, what is up? Says Pollard, Pittman, Higgins, or Deontay Johnson in the flex. Pollard,
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you trade Addison Downs for Devonta Ridley? I would rather have Addison Downs myself.
This is tough. This is a risky trade. That's what I would say. This is a trade that you hope that you get Devonta Smith and Calvin Ridley, and you hope it works out. You hope they pan out to be the people that we all believe they can be. I think it's a risk. It's a risk.
So what's your answer? You don't want to answer?
I would want Devonta Smith and Ridley, but it's a massive, massive risk.
By the way, Kenneth Walker didn't practice 2 days in a row.
Yeah, with a calf injury. That's why I was like, I think I said it earlier. I said that's why Zach Charbonnet could have a big game or a big week this week.
Donald says, do I start Jacobs and deal with the B's with his BS, I guess, or start Foreman? I mean, it would be Jacobs for me.
Yeah, agreed. It would be Jacobs for me as well.
Gator says, happy PR. Justice Hill, Curtis Samuel, or Shaheed. Curtis Samuel for me.
Samuel, absolutely.
We did just get a donation from Zach, so let's get to that. He says, need a flex, PPR, Higgins or Rashad White.
One T.
Yeah, I think this is where I lean T. Higgins. It's very, very close, but that is where I lean T. Higgins there. Thank you for the donation, man.
Give me T.
Zap says, start Kincaid or TJ when I have Diggs and Evans tonight. Start. It's got a pain in my side. Go ahead.
Or TJ Hawkinson when I have eggs and Divian. I'm starting TJ still.
Who is TJ?
Like TJ Hawkinson?
Oh, yeah. You definitely start TJ Hawkinson if that's TJ Hawkinson. For sure. Okay, we did just get a couple super chats. So let's make sure we get to those straight away. That is Luker. What is up? Godwin or Downs in the flex? I'm going Chris Godwin.
I'm going Downs. I am starting Godwin in multiple leagues, but I'm going Downs. Once again, I think he is more vital to that offense than Chris Godwin, personally.
I would say they're as vital to their offenses as each other, personally.
You know what? I would agree. Actually, I would second that. They're not irrelevant. They both play a huge part. So you know what? I second that as well.
The way I think about this game playing out tonight is, again, the Bucs needing to come back and throw the ball, and I think Godwin. I'm not sure that the Colts and the Saints is going to be in that same kind of game script where one of these teams is in a negative play. It would be Godwin for me, but it's very, very close. It's not that far off. Bradley says, wait, it was on the NFL Fantasy app. Yes. Okay, gotcha. I mean, yeah, the NFL Fantasy app, Yahoo, ESPN, they're fine apps. There's nothing wrong with them, but typically those are where we find a lot of those crazy, like, hey, someone dropped. We literally heard this last week, Badaki. Someone dropped Justin Jefferson in my league.
Yeah,
like, what?
Well,
he's like, oh yeah, I play on ESPN. Like, oh, okay.
As if it was common, like, oh yeah, it's ESPN.
Yeah. Edit 718 says Kincaid tonight or Waller. I have Josh Allen. It would be Waller for me.
Yes, I agree.
Now, don't hate us if Kincaid goes off, but I love Waller's matchup. Waller has the best matchup for tight ends this week, and I think we're going to see another Tyrod Taylor start. The next super chat is from Daniel. Macedonia, which is definitely not his last name.
Macedonia.
$2 donation. Thank you for the donation. Kincaid Ferguson, born. So let's start there. Kincaid Ferguson, I would go Kincaid.
I'm going Kincaid as well.
Born Tank Dell Osborne or D Hop, I would go Tank Dell.
I'm going Tank Dell as well.
So hopefully that is helpful.
Completely
Thank you
agree.
for the donation. The next question that we have in order, keep in mind, guys, we'll only be live, let's say the next 7 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just double checking as well, making sure I didn't set anyone up.
You're looking at all your leagues.
Making sure no one's in the flex. Like I just found a league where I had Gabe Davis in the flex. So I
all right, let's go live for the next 3 minutes. That way, that gives us time to check all our lineups real quick. But the next question in order is from Axis, full PPR trade. I get DeMarcado and Deontay Johnson. He gets Christian Watson and Miles Sanders. I want Watson and Miles Sanders.
Agreed.
Pick 2 wide receivers, Godwin, Garrett Wilson, or pick 1 rather. Sorry, this would be Garrett Wilson for me.
Garrett Wilson, yes.
Watson or Ridley? I'll go Ridley.
Ridley
or Watson? We just answered that. Yeah, Ridley. Dawson says Rashad or Darryl this week. Rashad for me.
Yeah, it'll be Rashad for me as well.
Also, I traded Kyron for Monty. How'd I do? Love the Monty side of that deal.
Love that. Yeah, that's such a good one.
Donald Smith says need a flex. DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, Joshua Palmer, or T. Higgins.
Ooh, between DJ and T, I'm going DJ though, based off matchup. Try to get the most points to the wide receiver position.
Yeah, same. Do you think you can flip Lockett for Higgins? I want Higgins by a landslide there. So if that was in my inbox, I wouldn't consider it, but I'm sure there are leagues out there where people would.
Yeah, I don't think it's out of this world to get that trade done personally.
Yeah. Do we trust James Cook this week? Depends on your options, but if he's your best option, I think he's got to be in your lineups, is how I would phrase it. All right, we got a couple super chats. We probably will end the stream once there's no more super chats, just so we can go set our lineups, not just because of that. Jake says start 3, full PPR, Breece Hall, Pollard, James Cook, and Jahmyr Gibbs. For me, this would be Pollard, Breece, and Gibbs.
I concur. James Cook, great start this week as well. But if Monty doesn't play as Jahmyr Gibbs, and you won't know that until after tomorrow, so you go Jahmyr Gibbs.
Gabriel, thank you for the donation. Start 2, Garrett Wilson, Ridley, and Deontay.
Ridley, Wilson, if Deontay doesn't play, which doesn't look like he's going to.
I still think there's a chance that he plays, but I think it's 50-50. So I would lean Wilson and Ridley as well with you there.
Yeah. I'll be surprised if he plays, but
fair.
Anything can happen, obviously.
Ben Morgan, can I drop Judy for Sharps? I would only do that if Ken Walker is actually ruled out. I wouldn't do that right now. Because if Ken Walker is not ruled out, then you just, it's like,
Jerry.
okay, what do I do now?
I just think like who, that's tough because then if he is ruled out, how about this, Ben? My question to you would be, are you struggling at running back? And if Sharps is going to hypothetically be the starter, he can help you win this week. I'm willing to do that if Jerry hasn't been even starting in your lineup. That's what I would say. Let's say he has Darrell Henderson and an Austin Eckler. I would rather start Zach Charbonnet over Darrell Henderson. Do you get what I'm saying? But I think it just all depends on what your team looks like there, Ben, and what you really need this week.
Yeah.
Agreed? Really?
Yeah. Overall, I'm keeping Judy, but the only way I'm doing that is if Walker's ruled out, and it doesn't sound like a serious injury either. But
no, it's a calf injury. He didn't practice for the past 2 days. Tomorrow is going to tell us a lot. That's all right.
I need to set my roster in a couple leagues. Yeah, so that's it for today, guys. We appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hopefully whatever you need to happen on Thursday night happens for you. But we appreciate y'all. Go ahead and like the video if you haven't liked it yet. We got a bunch of content on the channel.
We'll be live again.
We will see you guys very soon. We'll be live Saturday night. So we'll see you then.
All love.